Hey, everybody. We are so excited that you took time out of your busy day. Maybe this is your lunch hour. Maybe you're just getting a brunch, whichever time of the day you are. So glad that you guys are with us. My name is Zach Coffin, and I have the great privilege of working with Bart Kaler at Kaler Solutions and the Higher Ed Marketer. Bart, how are things, my friend? How are you?
Things are going well. It's good to be here together.
It's so good, so good. Well, we're so excited that everybody's jumping on. We have been doing a ton of AI training of different teams with marketing communications. And Bart and I were in a conversation a few weeks ago, and we were helping a team with a campus tour. And we wanted to share that with you guys and invite you to be a part of that. But Bart, before we jump into a lot of the practical training stuff, I know people are finding themselves at different places with AI. Some people are neck deep. Some people saw that Chat 4.0 just came out, and we're trying to catch up on all that stuff.
Right.
But man, before we jump into some of the practical stuff, just give us some level set, man. Like, why does it matter that we engage with AI in this season? It's pretty profound thing.
Well, I think that especially as higher ed marketers, we know that higher education historically has been a little bit slow to move.
Yeah.
And with all that's going on right now, with the enrollment cliff, with the perceptions of higher ed, with just the challenges that are all the headwinds that are going on, it doesn't really matter what size of school you are, whether it's flagship public or you're a
Right.
micro college. The fact is that there's a lot of challenges right now with we have to do more with less.
Yeah.
And I think that artificial intelligence gives us that opportunity to kind of really extend our abilities to do things. I mean, I often liken it to the Tony Stark Iron Man suit. I mean,
Yeah.
Tony Stark
Absolutely.
can throw a punch, but when he's in that Iron Man suit, it's a whole lot more effective. And so the idea that we're using artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence, as a tool that we can jump into and be able to really do a lot more with that, I think is critical. And I think it's also the fact that right now, I mean, such a time as this, with the idea that, as you mentioned, OpenAI just released ChatGPT 4.0 this week. And basically what that means is that a lot of people are kind of like, whatever. Well, now that ChatGPT used to, what was the free version was
Right.
like the 3.5 version. Well, now the free version is what I've been paying for better part of a year now. Everybody gets it for free. And so what I'm
Okay.
going to show you today, you can do for free with the new ChatGPT 4.0. Now, I haven't checked. I meant to check before we got on to see if it has rolled out to the free accounts yet. But if it hasn't yet, it's only going to be a matter of days or a week at the most. So what I'm showing you today, you can do with a free account. And typically when I do my training, I'll ask people how many people have used ChatGPT. Well, most people will raise their hand,
Right.
90% of the audience. Then when I ask them how many people are using the 4 version, the paid version, it goes to like 1 or 2 out of 300 people. Well, now there's no excuse because everybody has the access to the same tools that we've been showing people, that I've been learning on, that I've been showing. And so now's an opportunity for us to really kind of show you how to use that new tool that you have access to, because what I'm going to show
Absolutely.
you today is in that ballpark.
Well, and I love what you said about this idea of doing more with less, because I think if we're all really honest, um, we have felt in those seasons of doing more with less. We haven't felt like we actually had the tool. Like, it sounded good and it was catchy to say, "Hey, we're going to do more with less," but
Yeah.
we never really felt like we had the tools or the resources or, frankly, the technology to actually accelerate the output and accelerate the excellence for which we're operating in. But now we actually have the tools to be
I
able to
know
do
it's
it.
amazing.
It blows my mind. So it really gives us as team leaders and as marketers an opportunity to upskill in a way, um, to accelerate the mission and vision of our church or of our schools and all those type of things.
Yeah.
Pretty profound.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to be any organization. So it's pretty
Absolutely.
amazing that we can do that. And I think that before I get into some of the demo, I want to make sure to encourage everybody. I've got it over on my sidebar here. We've got a few people, I think we've got about 12 people live with us right now. If
That's
you have
awesome.
questions as we're going
Absolutely.
along, put them in the chat there on LinkedIn or on YouTube, and we'll make sure that we can address those. And Zach's going to pay attention to that as we go through things. But I guess anything else, Zach, that before
No,
we
man,
jump?
let's get to the good stuff, man.
Okay,
Let's show
so
everybody.
let me get over here or find my mouse. There we go. So I'm going to kind of get into this and kind of go a little bit into demonstrating a little bit of what we've got. So I'm in my Chat GPT, and you'll see that It's the paid version, but right here I can choose my different models. And so I'm going to stick in the 4.0 version because that's what everybody's going to have access to in this free place. And so what I did is a couple months ago, as Zach kind of said, we did some custom AI training. We did AI masterclass for Oakton College, and I have permission to kind of share some of this with you. But I wanted to show you how, as part of our training, we ended up doing kind of exactly like this, where they gave us a use case and said, hey, we'd really like to develop a new campus tour script. Can you show us how to use ChatGPT and AI models to do that? And so what I'm going to do is kind of re-demonstrate in real time what we did during that masterclass. And by the way, if the masterclass is something you might be interested in for your team, the QR code there in the corner will take you to a thing on that. Zach, I think that wrong QR code is on this page. So if you can update that, that'd be great. While I'm talking, there we go. And so you could just scan on that, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. But one of the things that we did on this, we just kind of started off with the idea that we wanted to do a campus map. We wanted to do a campus tour. So we're going to need a campus map. We also wanted to make sure that the brand was reflected in the campus tour and the script that we developed. And then we also wanted to make sure that we gave it some context of how the campus tour was going to be done. And so let me kind of go in here and just kind of show you how we started. So one of the things that you can do with ChatGPT 4.0 is you can upload different types of documents. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Google and I'm going to type in Oakton College campus map. And so I can click on right here, and this is the campus map of the Plains campus. And so you can see I've got an external campus map. And then in this map packet, the PDF, they also have their main building with all the identification places. And so over here, it looks like they've got this welcome enrollment centers where everybody kind of starts. And so we'll make sure we start the tour there. But as you go through, we've got all the details of this main building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this local map to my desktop. And then I'm going to go back over here to ChatGPT, and I'm going to upload that map into ChatGPT. So now what it's doing is it's reading that map and it's adding it to its knowledge base. And then I'm going to start my prompt. The way I always start it is giving ChatGPT an expertise. So I'm going to say, let's go over here, acting as a higher ed marketing expert focused on developing campus maps, campus tours. I want you to develop a new campus tour for Oakton College. And I'm going to give the campus. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm basically identifying the college so that it knows what school that we're talking about. And what it can do is ChatGPT can go out and it will know everything about that school. And then I'm also giving it the specific campus that I want it to focus on. And then I'm going to say, use the attached PDF for reference for the campus map. Here are some details. So I'm going to say 1, start and stop the campus tour at the enrollment center. And then 2, I'm also going to tell it that I want it to include multiple buildings on the tour. Limit the tour to 40 minutes. And then I'm just going to keep going down here and give it all the parameters that I want. And so I had done an earlier one here, and I'm going to pull out some of the things here that I had done before, and I'm just going to, so you don't have to watch me type everything. I'm going to put some of this in here, and we'll edit it from this. And so, so I'm going to put this here. Use the attached map for the details. So start outside the main building. I want you to identify the stopping points for the conversation. I already talked about the length. And then some additional background that they had asked me for this use case is that it's going to be student ambassadors will give the tour. The audience will be high school students. Keep the tone upbeat, friendly, and approachable. We want students to feel comfortable and know that they belong at Oakton. Emphasis more than affordability, but time well spent. And so we'll put that in there. And then they've also asked me to weave in the brand pillars. And so we've added that. Weave in our brand pillars, which are engage employees, foster student success, commitment to diversity, equity and inclusion, and intentional pathways with skill-based resources, and exceptional value. And our district is your extended classroom. So they wanted to make sure the brand is mentioned in the tour as well. And then I've asked it to generate the script with location data, approximate timestamp, and leave a reminder for tour guides to ask questions. So my goal is that when we write the script, I want that to not only tell me what to say, but I also want to kind of have a timestamps to know how long should I be at each location that is outlining on the campus. And then I always end my prompts with ask me any other questions that we'll need to get the best result. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit return. And so what it's going to do is it's going to start giving us the tour here. And it didn't need any further instructions. And so it's already going. It says start and stop, Enrollment Center main building, 40 minutes, tour stops. I'm going to start in the Enrollment Center. I'm going to do an introduction. I'm going to go to the library, the Student Center and Oakton Cafe, Margaret Burke Science Center. And Health. So if you go back to that map, these areas it's pulling data right out of the map, telling it where it needs to go. And when we did this in real time, I asked the folks at Oakton, I said, "Does this reflect how you would naturally walk around campus?" And they said, "Yeah, this is amazing. This is exactly how we would go through that." And so, we'll go to the Performing Arts Center, the athletic facilities, outdoor classroom, conclusion back at the Enrollment Center. So here you can see that we've got the script. So for 0 to 5 minutes, we're going to do Enrollment Center. So we're going to welcome the students, and it's basically telling the student ambassador to introduce herself and explain the purpose of the tour. Briefly mention the Oakton's mission. So it kind of talks about the brand. Then we're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes going to the library. We're going to highlight the available resources, mention the roles. We're going to talk about the brand pillar and exceptional value during that part of the stop. Then from minutes 10 to 15, we're going to make our way to the Student Center and the cafe. We're going to show the cafe as a place for students to relax, study, and engage. Mention various student services available here, such as counseling and student activities. And again, because it knows enough about Generation Z, it knows that counseling is a kind of a really hot topic right now, mental health for students that they're looking at prospective schools. And so making sure that that's built in and baked into the campus tour is pretty incredible. And then it's going to say brand pillars here, engaged employees foster student success. So we're going to talk about that. Question for the tour guides to ask: what type of activities or clubs are you interested in? So it's prompting those questions. And again, keep in mind, these are the bullet points of this entire script. And so what we can do is, so you can see it's going through each step along the way, talking about where it's going to go, talk about the outdoor classroom, talk about the center, notes for the tour guides. So if I wanted to, I could say, okay, let's go in and discuss more about the step 2. So I might come down and I might say, give me more details on step 2 and possible stories to tell in the ambassador's own voice. So now that I've got that, it's going to say, okay, now it's going to give a little bit more details about what the script is. Over here, we have the Oakton Cafe, and then these are the possible stories that they could say. So give personal experiences with student activities. And it's giving me an example. When I first started Oakton, I was a bit nervous about making friends and getting involved, but then I joined Student Government Association. So it's kind of giving us a little bit of a script that you could go talking about what exactly you are expecting the student ambassador to talk about. Maybe talking about using the counseling services to kind of demystify what that might feel like for a student who's never done that. A favorite spot in the Oakton Cafe, and why they like that. And again, it's going back into asking more tour questions, additional talking points, ambassadors personalization. So now that I've done that with step 2, I might say, okay, this is great. Please incorporate what you did in step 2 for all of the script and republish the entire script. So now I've told it I really like what you did in that step 2. So let me go in now, and we're going to just kind of have you do the entire thing over with a lot more details based on what you did in step 2. And so you can kind of see that as we go through this, there's a lot more things that we can kind of get into this. We can kind of, now it's got a personal story. Now it's got a brand pillar. We can just keep going on and on about this. And some of the best engagements that I have with ChatGPT is just starting to ask it questions, going back and forth and really pushing it even further. Now, if we wanted to, I could even upload, like if let's say that I had an elevator pitch or a pitch deck that I have for the school that maybe your school has as part of your brand, your brand toolkit, you could actually upload that, or you could upload the brand toolkit as a PDF into this chat to give it more knowledge-based information about your school, about what you're trying to accomplish on the tour. You might even upload frequently asked questions, and that list of frequently asked questions, and have it build into the script all those different ideas, and use those frequently asked questions to make sure that you are touching on those things throughout the tour. And so again, this is just a really quick down and dirty way of how we would suggest you do a campus tour script. And again, you're not going to copy and paste this and hand it out to the student ambassadors, but it does give you the ability to kind of talk to them and kind of get something started and get something going so that you've got a pretty good idea. And one of the things I really like about this the most is the fact that it's kind of estimating how much time to spend at each section. And I could probably go in and adjust it and say, do you have suggestions on how to adjust the timing based on the student needs? So let's do that. So what I've done is, do you have suggestions on adjusting timing based on brand pillars and the needs of Generation Z? So it's going to adjust the timing a little bit based on what I just asked it to do. So it's going to change it based on focus the tour better align with the brand pillars and the needs of Generation Z, can enhance engagement, make the tour more effective. Generation Z values inclusivity, practical skills, and technology. So we'll emphasize these aspects throughout the tour. So you can see now that they've changed the timing. We're only going to spend 3 minutes on the intro. We've got 5 minutes on that. Now we've got 7 minutes at the library. We're going to go 7 minutes to the science center. So it's adjusted it based on some of the instructions that I gave it. And so again, just a really good idea of how all this works out. And Zach, I would say too, if we get some people who, do this scan to learn more about us, what I would suggest is that if you're interested in learning more about our masterclass, I'll go ahead and send you over this chat. I can simply go over here and just share this script with you and share it with you. And so if you reach out to us, I'll make sure Zach has a copy of that to get to you so that you've got a full version of everything that I've shared here. So I can create that link and drop that over to Zach so he can get that to you as a follow-up. So let's kind of jump back in here, and Zach's going to join me, and we're going to make it any opportunities. If anybody has any, question and answers, I'm happy to do that now in real time and kind of figure out what might be needed.
Yeah, Bart, one thing I think it'd be helpful for people to understand is you mentioned like the language models and where chat's pulling its information from. Can you talk about just some of the fundamentals of that? Because I think that will help people who are newer to this understand, like, how is chat actually doing that? You know what I mean? Like, what's some of the fundamentals?
You can go down a lot of conspiracy theories if you don't understand what's going on. A lot of times people think that what ChatGPT do is basically just scraping the internet, and it's like Google. And what they think is that it's just going out and grabbing everything in the world and just stuffing it down. And when you ask a question, it's just a super fast Google that pulls it out and gives it back to you. That's not really the case. What it is, it's more of like they figured out how to program computers to learn like humans learn. And so you think about the fact, like, let's use an image as an example, because a lot of people are really scared of using AI generated images because it's of is it copywritten, or am I stealing somebody's image that they've already done? Well, what happens is that, like, if with these large language models, they throw a ton of data at it to teach these computers. And so with the large language model, let's use the image again, they're throwing 1 million pictures of a sunset, because there's 1 million pictures of a sunset on the internet. So they're saying, here is a sunset, here's a sunset, here's a sunset. And so ChatGPT is like a little kid sitting in front of a tutor getting flashcards of sunsets. And after it's seen 1 million of them, and when I go and I say, can you draw me a picture of a sunset? It says, yeah, I know what a sunset looks like. Here's a picture of a sunset. So it's drawing that picture based on the 1 million of pictures that it learned on what a sunset is. It's an orange ball in the sky of clouds, and it's identifying those things of what makes a sunset, so that it can then create a sunset, or it can derive a sunset. I don't like to use the word create, because only people can create. That's something God has blessed us with. But what these tools are doing is it's basically deriving an image based on that. It's combining what it knows about a sunset and putting that on the screen. And so it's the same way with when it's following patterns. And so when I ask it to read and follow a pattern, it's following a pattern throughout the way things are working. And so that's one of the things that you've got to remember, is that it seems surprising, but it's just very fast at being able to say, when somebody asks me that, these are all the answers that I've learned. And so I'm just going to give the best pattern result from that. And so that's where a lot of times I think that it's a little bit, there's a little bit of mystique around it, a mystery, but just understanding it helps a lot.
Well, and one of the things I've appreciated about the AI master classes that we're doing with people and how we're helping teams is we really take this positive collaborator approach that, AI, like generative AI, is not going to take anyone's job, because it's a collaborator. And speak just for a minute because I think you just gave us a great example of how you collaborated with AI to build that tour. Now that they have the tour, give us 1 or 2 steps after that, now that they could take the tour and put that really warm human touch to it to get it to those ambassadors. Like, give us just a human touch of, like, now that we have what chat gave us, now what do we do with it?
Yeah. So what I would suggest is you copy it out of chat and put it in something like Google Docs or Word, so that you can start editing it. And that becomes a collaborative doc that you can share with maybe your event coordinator, your counselors, maybe your admissions director, to really start hammering at it and saying, hey, I like this part, or hey, this is too much time in the library. It's a bunch of books. We don't need to spend that much time in the library. So you start kind of beating it up, and then you start putting together, more of bullet points, because sometimes I think when we have tours, and especially when we have student ambassadors doing those tours, we don't want to freak them out and stress them out and say, memorize this. We want to give them bullet points and show them, hey, here's some samples of what you can do and how you can do that. And what I would say is that as you're doing that, you have those bullet points, and then you might have some examples of, hey, this is an example of a story. This is an example of a personal anecdote. And then what you can do is you can, reorganize your entire document, and maybe you even go out and take some photos along the tour spot and say, X marks the spot. This is where I want you to stand. This is what I want you to look at. So you take a picture. So chat is giving you kind of the skeleton and the framework of how you might do that. But again, you've got to then take it in, collaborate, beat it up, take some photos, and then do the training that it's going to take. So it's really, it gives you a leg up, and it maybe helps you in the way that you're going to hone the tour. I think I saw a comment from Ryan in the chat. It's a really good tool that you could actually take whatever documentation that you already have for your existing tour, upload your map, upload a few other things, put some parameters, and say, how can I make this better? And so you might upload a Word document of your existing script. You might actually go out and film one of your admissions counselors giving the tour, the ambassador giving the tour. Upload the video to chat, because now ChatGPT 4.0 can analyze video, or you throw it into Loom and get the transcript of the tour, throw it into chat and say, hey, here's our map, here's the transcript of the tour, here's our brand pillars, here's our current script and outline.
Yeah.
modify this. And right now it's at an hour and a half, make it 40 minutes, make it 45 minutes. How can we improve it? Start talking to it. So there's a ton of ways to use a tool like ChatGPT to even improve what you already have.
Well, and I think that's where I found a lot of help with chat is it helps me with my creative process, and I love being creative. I like thinking creatively. I take a lot of pride in being creative, but being able to use chat to create white space for me and create and it's going to see things that I'm not seeing, which may help me jump off to new places
Yeah.
and new ideas that after I've seen my tour 15 times or I've been on a tour 30 times. It's like I have these biases from that tour that chat can just help point to and help unlock a little bit more. So Bart, I know we wanted to give everybody just a really quick glimpse of our AI masterclass because we're training a ton of schools and helping level set and really equip. So we have a 6 hour masterclass that we're offering to teams. Give us a little sneak peek of what's happening in those 6 hours with day 1 and day 2, and we'll finish up here.
Yeah. So we intentionally do day 1 and day 2, and we do day 1 like one day, and then like a few weeks later we do day 2. And the reason that we do that is intentional because doing it all in 6 hours, it's a fire hose, and so you got to pace yourself. And so the first 3 hours we'll spend on getting everybody up to speed on what generative AI is and what it's not. And so we kind of go over the basics, cover some of that. We get into the tools, and we kind of introduce everybody to the tools, the free tools, the paid tools, the subscriptions, because there's a lot more than just ChatGPT. So you've got ChatGPT, you've got Claude, you've got Google Gemini, or kind of your main big ones, and then you've got the Adobe suite with everything they're doing in Adobe. You've got Midjourney with images and graphics. We've got Sora and some of the other video tools coming out very soon. So we kind of introduce everybody into that. I kind of demonstrate my toolbox and how I'm using it. We go through some case studies of how other schools have been using it, from comm flows to just very practical things. A lot of it's in enrollment, a lot of it's in marketing. So we kind of go through and just level set for the day. And then once we do that and we kind of show those use cases and get everybody understanding of what you can do with ChatGPT, what you can do with generative AI, kind of like what we did today. And the campus tour is just one tiny aspect. Just about anything that you can imagine. I did a presentation a few weeks ago with it was about 20 different vice presidents of enrollment, and we walked through and showed how you could upload your data. I mean, you want to depersonalize the data, take out the IDs, but we were able to analyze 4 years of enrollment data for a school and just start asking questions like, what county do we have the most nursing interest from? What city has the most of this? Is just a way for us to kind of engage and have a conversation rather than wondering what's the report that I should have my captain generate for me. I can instead have everything there and just start typing in questions and getting answers. And so we'll introduce all those use cases in the first day. We then give some time to let that percolate, let people play with chat, let people kind of be introduced to those tools. And then during that 2-week break, we ask everybody to send in what's something that you have, what's a use case that you would like to solve that you deal with on a regular basis in your role, because we're training the entire team. And so different team members are going to have different needs. And so, a missions counselor might say, hey, I need to optimize my travel. How would I use that? Or we might have a marketing person saying, hey, how do I get better TikTok videos? And how can I use chat for that? So we're gonna get those use cases. And just like what I showed you today, this was a use case that someone at Oakton had said, it's like, hey, I'm in charge of the campus tour. How do I do a better script? How could I even use chat for something like that? Well, then on day 2, I go through and I will show how I would approach that problem utilizing ChatGPT or utilizing any of the different tools. And then we walk through in real time how to solve that problem from your campus using the tool. We record everything. We give people access to all the recordings, all the chat that we do. We'll give access to all that. So it's really a customizable way for your institution to kind of get everybody up to speed, get them comfortable, and get them use cases to see in real time and have reference for later on that they can go back and say, I really liked how Bart did the campus tour. I wonder if I could do that for this, like that. And so that's really what we're trying to do.
I love it. Yeah, at Kaler Solutions, we are focused on giving you guys custom solutions to the problems that you're actually facing. Like we want to work with you on the problems that you're actually doing. And so this AI masterclass really is our ability to really help train your team, get AI to be approachable for your team. And no matter if your team is just getting into chat, not sure about chat, we work with clients that have not used chat at all, and they just need some help even helping their teams get comfortable and have permission to use it. You know, one of our clients are like, thank you for just giving our team permission to engage AI and accelerate their work. And so we would love to be able to work with you folks.
And
And
Zach, you bring up a good point there
yeah,
too, because even outside of the master class, we've been asked from some schools that we're actually going to be doing master classes for
yes,
to just come and do a keynote or
yep,
to, we did a couple faculty and service days at the beginning of the semester to just, hey, there's a lot of misunderstanding on campus
yeah,
about chat. Can you come and just talk, make a presentation to our faculty? So we've done that, and that kind of changed the tenor on campus about
absolutely,
these tools. We've also met with cabinet level or board
yep,
level to just be able to help them understand this new world of marketing tools, this new world of just tools, because this isn't just marketing. And so even there, if you're like, hey man, I can't do anything because I can't get past my provost because they want to ban chat on campus, that's something that we can come alongside you and even do some presentations with, if that helps.
absolutely, absolutely. We're here to serve, and we want to help everybody take their right next step, no matter what that step is. And so we want to thank everybody for joining us and hanging out today. Again, if we can serve you guys at all, if we can help you with any of your marketing website, anything like that, we can do. AI, we're happy to help. And Bart, thanks for sharing today, man. We really appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And one last word to anybody who's leading your teams. I know when you're leading teams, you can feel the pressure to have to be an expert on all things at all times. And we just want to say, like, let us help you with AI. Let us help you take that pressure off of you so that you can stay focused on what's most important with your role, and we can help you on the AI front and any of your marketing needs. So, Bart, anything else, man?
That's it. Really appreciate everybody joining us. And I know a
Yeah,
lot of people will be watching this, post live too. So again,
absolutely.
we're doing this on LinkedIn because we are connected on LinkedIn. So, tag us, DM us, do whatever you need to. We're here to help.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.